Yay! Oh my gosh, did I finally figure this out? I think so. I think I did. Okay. Alright, make sure that I'm in the video. Tanner has abandoned me, so I'm on my own. So, there we go. I'm in the video. Tanner has abandoned me, so I'm on my own. So, okay. There we go. And I'm gonna let anybody know. Tanner has abandoned me, so I'm on my own. So, okay. There we go. Let anybody know. Tanner has abandoned me, so I'm on my own. So, okay. There we go. Okay, I think next week this will definitely go smoother. Yeah. Yay. Okay, there. All right, but I won't be able to read any comments or anything like that. So just so everybody knows, I don't have a somebody to read off everything, and there's no music. I apologize. All the best stuff's gone, but Tanner said he will be back next week. So. Okay, I think next week this will definitely go smoother. Yeah. Here, yay. Okay, there. All right. Turn that down so there's no playback. Okay. All right. Let's finish this. Let's try to finish this up. So I'm getting started now at 9:30. So I'm going to end this at 10:30. So. It's definitely much better with Tanner here, reading and playing music. Boy, it's way too quiet now. He definitely needs to be part of this from now on. Yeah, I don't think I like these long. I don't think I like the long hair. I thought I would, but I don't. Not for this one. I do like a long-haired Bigfoot, but so hopefully. There's lots of different ways to do the hair too. I mean, I'm just doing the quick way right here, but another really nice way of doing it is you add just little, you roll up little bits and you kind of make them cone shaped, like kind of like an ice cream cone, and you sort of add a whole bunch of these, and you kind of layer them over one another, kind of like tiles on a roof. So you would start like you might start at the bottom and then work your way up over it, so you kind of lay them over each other. And then that'll give you like a lot of nice layering and depth and stuff. So instead of just digging into the clay, you want the fur to look like it's got some mass to it. So I think what I'm going to do next time is I'm going to see if I can bribe Lexi to come in here and Tanner take the first hour and Lexi take the second hour, and then have them read off any comments, feedback, and Lexi does not play a musical instrument, but we'll figure out some background music. I'll let her be in charge of that. All right, so back to this. And again, my goal with this whole thing, just like I tell a lot of people when I'm teaching sculpting, the little bit that I can teach, is just get through your sculpts, just finish them up. So every week with this, I just want to start something and then finish it, and then that'll be it. I might tweak it a little if I decide to like if I decide to put these up for sale, then I might do a little final tweaking after the end, just to kind of, finish up any rough bits and stuff. But in general, I don't want to, I'm not going to spend a whole lot of time on these. I think I'm going to ease off on the angry look a little bit. One of my online sculpting friends mentioned that everything I do seems to be angry or grimacing or something like that, which I don't know. I just kind of like that. I get a kick out of that. But he's right. I need to try to balance that out with maybe some nicer, more relaxed expressions. Just some variety. Definitely want to make sure that this has more of a, got to do something, I've got to play around with it a little bit to make sure it's got more of a Bigfoot look than just a gorilla look. See, there you go. Let's see him so far. All right, so I'm gonna just get some hair in here. I'm gonna keep adding those little cones just to give, like I said, give it some depth and stuff. But for now, just underneath that, I'm gonna go ahead and do this just to kind of, I don't know, get the underlayer of fur going. It's easier to see him kind of come through with that. when you're doing fur like this, like what I find with my tool is like with this is one of my favorite ones. I use this all the time. Um, you really you want to think about how you want his fur to end up looking. So if I want it just really to look like he's got very short hair and it's very straight, then that's the kind of lines I'm going to make with my tool. But if I want it to give it like, if I want it to be longer hair, then I'm going to kind of drag it like this. Make it, which is good. I need to actually vary it up a little bit. It'd be nice to have a little bit of variety. But you kind of use the side of your tool and you kind of like twist it and stuff like that. Just and this won't be the end of it. This is just the start of, I like to get these channels going so I can kind of see the direction I'm going to make the hair. I'm going to take a look at Facebook real quick and make sure that this is coming through and everybody can see it, because otherwise I'm just talking to myself. I don't have the chat set up for Patreon, so if you could see this, just let me know that you could see it, if you wouldn't mind, or if you're watching this, I mean. Okay, so if anybody is watching this, if you wouldn't mind jumping onto Facebook and just text in the comment thread of where I was posting on Facebook and just say that you can see me on Patreon. Oh, okay. Thanks, Gene. Oh, wait. That means that you could see me, right? You're saying I'm here. That does mean you could see me, right? So just follow up with one more. Yay. Okay. Awesome. Thanks, buddy. Appreciate it. All right. Well, now I know at least. Yay. Okay. Good. Thank you. All right. I got you, Gene. At least I'm not talking to myself. So I appreciate it, bud. I think I'll have this figured out much better by next week. So I should have all the kinks worked out of this. It's coming along. All right, now for the hair. So here's the other thing. In addition to adding like the little cones, which I like to do, I also like to use my one of my loop tools. It's got like a little triangle end. Don't know how well you can see that. I'll kind of drag it it just gets deeper into the crevices and just kind of makes those valleys a little bit more pronounced. Because ultimately when I look at this from the side, I don't want it to just look flat. Like right now it just looks flat, but like if you look at the side here, you could see where the fur pops out and stuff. So you want some of the fur to pop out a little bit and some of it to lay down. So So apes, Bigfoot, things like that, they've got cave, Neanderthal, stuff like that. A lot of times they have most often, they have kind of a pronounced upper lip. So if you make the mouth come up too high, then you don't really get that good kind of gorilla-like look. And then also a big chin. I always like something like a real firm chin, or a strong chin, rather. There we go. It's looking Bigfootish. Once I get closer to the end, I'm going to add a lot of little tiny hair all in here. Also, you got to make sure you're always looking at it from different angles too, because it might look right from the front, but then if you flip it up, then you might notice that you need to add a lot more clay or something to a certain area that you don't notice, like if you're just looking at it straight on. Yeah, these little cones of fur are making a big difference. They're finally starting to see them come together. Oops. This was a lot of fun. I hope everybody enjoyed it. I definitely want to keep this going, and hopefully it'll lead to more people signing up for the Patreon, which helps me a lot, very, very much. So I keep trying to add more stuff to it to make it super worthwhile for everybody, but it really does help. And we've got a lot of really big things planned, a lot of stuff in the works, not just sculpts, but business-wise, just things I'm planning on doing that are really exciting. So I'm going to keep all my patrons updated on that as it moves along. And then just keep adding as much as I can. I want to start doing a lot more videos too. So I know everybody enjoys watching the videos and having little tutorials. So they're just hard to film because they take up a lot of time. But the more I get it figured out, the more I do it, the more I'll be able to start adding those. Get a YouTube channel set up and take it from there. What are we looking at? 10:02. Okay, about 30 minutes, then I'm going to call it quits. I want to do Bigfoot just because I really didn't need reference to do him. And I wanted to show some different techniques like the hair techniques. So at least some of the ones that I do. Ah, there we go. Now you're starting to come through. I'll also try to record these in the future so that anybody who wants to can go back and look at anything or watch any part of it that they might want to. Yeah, I like the way he's come out. He's bad. Pretty good Bigfoot. For 2 hours. I'll probably say, like I said, I'll probably save the detailing for after I'm done. I'll finish them up just with some detailing, but before I go, I'll show you guys kind of how I do it. Um, and anybody who's listened to me like teach or go over anything, or and it is raining and that's thunder, so just FYI. Anybody who's like been in any of my classes that I've taught and stuff like that, so one of the things that I always tell everybody is most beginner sculptors, one of their biggest things that they do, biggest mistakes, is they try to worry about like detailing way too early. And just like you've seen me do here, you've really got to just put that off and just try to get your basic structure done first. I'm just keeping this super rough. And then as I go, I just slowly, I add the detail bit by bit. Like the way I describe it is sort of like, if you've got like a planet and you first just get the mountains put on the planet, just add the mountains, then go in and you start adding little hills on the mountain, and then you go into the hill and you start adding grass and little bushes and stuff. You get more detailed, then you get down to little tiny plants and small things. Like, you keep going in those stages. So just focus on getting your basic structure, because all the detailing in the world, if the fur or hair looks really, really good, but underneath the figure itself is not well done, the face isn't symmetrical enough, and you got to have a little bit of asymmetry, just it's just natural, but basically symmetrical, and or one ear's too low than the other one, or the head's just shaped weird, or it'll ruin everything that you've done. So the best fur or hair in the world is not going to save it if underneath it's garbage. Now, the only thing I don't like is from the side, his face is really flat. Let me see. So his face is really flat from the side. So I definitely want to do something to kind of make his face a little bit more dimensional. I want it to go in and out, curvy. I don't just want it to be flat. So I'm gonna mess with that a little bit more. So first, if I don't know how well you could see, but you just see from the nose to the upper lip and lower lip, it's just kind of like a flat plane. So I'm gonna first add a little bit to the nose. Let's see if I can make that first come out a little bit. Yeah, it's a little bit better. other instructors could probably describe this a lot better than me, but basically I just think in and out, in and out, that kind of thing. Just got to watch it with your expressions too. I don't want him to look like he's pouting. So just kind of keep tweaking it. Don't be afraid to like mess up something that you've already put down. Just keep going until you're happy with it. And if you've got to mush something that you've already done, then that's fine. Yeah, but already I could see, like, from the side, it's already got more, you know, the in and outs like I was talking about. It's not as flat as it was before, so. And even with something like this, you can get a mirror in front of you and you could still, look at your own face for some of the, different little structures and stuff that you want to add into even something like this. It helps a lot. Yeah, I like that. It's better. Some eyebrows going in there, little eyebrows. I kind of like to make one go up a little bit higher than the other. I like that look where it's almost like an inquisitive look, or I just like when one is angled up a little bit higher than the other. There you go. You can kind of see how the one goes up a little bit more than the other. No, I see that I'm leaning back too far, so I'm going to try to move up a little bit closer. Oh yeah, I think a lot of this has been cut off, so I apologize if you haven't been able to see everything as I'm working on it. What are we looking like? All right, about another 10 minutes or so. By the way, if I'm getting little notifications, if anybody is writing me or texting me, I can't really see it right now. I will definitely respond to you afterwards, but that's what I needed Tanner here to help me with. So, but he put in a solid hour, which I really appreciated, and he'll be back next week. And I appreciate all of you showing up to watch this anyway. Also, I am going to be putting out my own set of tools sometime soon with the help of one of my buddies who does woodworking. So I think we're going to start off with a 3-piece tool set, and it's just based on a couple of my favorite ones, which is mainly this one, and this one. And if it goes well, then we'll expand and keep going. But usually when I teach a class, I usually make tools for all the students, the same tools that I use, so we're on the same page. And a lot of them have asked about it, so I finally found somebody who can kind of do it for me. So hopefully you guys get a kick out of that. And thanks everybody for being patient with me on this. I'm still figuring out the whole video end of it, so I'll get better as I go along. Oops, lost that one. Lost that one too. The last thing I'll say, well, not the last thing, but one of the last things I'll say is I hope this kind of showed some of you that you don't need any special tools. You don't need special armature setups. You know, like I said, if you were watching from the beginning, I started off just with aluminum foil and just make something that you can grab onto that's got a good handle. And I use the same tools pretty much on every sculpt. I kind of stopped collecting tools a while ago, which is something we all do up to a certain point. And then you just kind of, you know, find the ones that are your favorites, or you just start making them, the ones that you like. But the number one thing that you should supply yourself with is just plenty of clay. Just make sure that that's the most important thing. You don't need to spend a lot of money on anything else. Just get lots of clay so you can just do lots of sculpts. Best thing you can do to get better is just do a lot of sculpting all the time, and then you'll get there. On the back side, I'm making the fur a lot thicker and longer. I'm going to. Just to kind of add some variety. So it's nice to go from like where it's really, really short and straight on his face, and then as you get around his body, it starts to get bigger clumps and longer, and like I said, it's just nice for the variety. take a quick look at them so you can see. Yep. I'm going to go for another 5 minutes, and then that'll be it for the night. This was a lot of fun. This was a nice break from the projects I've got going on and the orders that I've got to get out. Which, if any of you are waiting on pieces to be shipped, I promise I'm on it. Just, it's very easy to fall behind when you're wearing all the hats in the business, and I wear all the hats. So it's hard to keep up with everything, but I promise I am getting everybody's order out who is waiting on something. If it hasn't already shipped out, which some of yours has. Also, busts are a lot of fun too. For any of you looking to do some stuff, sometimes don't try to do a full figure. It's too time consuming. You're gonna just spend so much time working on it that you're not just gonna get to this part, which is the fun. Just jumping in and just playing around. I love doing just heads and busts and stuff like that. It's nice to have the full figure done when it's all finished. You got it sitting up by your shelf, but just sitting down and doing something really quick, and then when this is done, I'll bake this, but same as you. Once you're finished with it, if you got a little bust, you could just throw it in the oven and bake it. You've got a finished piece. Move on to the painting, and then you've got a lot of. I know a lot of people that are either my patrons or just friends or something that have started doing that. Now they've got like a really nice little shelf of, their finished pieces that they've been finishing up over the past couple months or year or something, and it's a kick sitting back and looking at all the stuff that you were able to get done. So before I go, I'm just going to show you what I was talking about before, or what I said I'd show you. So now with the detailing, like some of what I'm going to do now that I got the big structure is once I'm going to go in, and now that I've got some of these shapes, now I'm going to kind of follow the same direction of the little cones and stuff. And with the smaller tool, I'm going to start adding more detailed fur. And again, it's kind of a twist. You'll kind of figure out, this is why you need a handle though. You don't want to really be touching your sculpt too much, but and again, I'm giving you kind of the fast version, but you kind of do these little poles and stuff like that. You start getting a lot more of that detail fur. And then I'll go underneath and I'll push it down like this. And that adds like some nice little shadows in there and crevices, so again, makes the fur look layered. And then for the longer hairs, drag it out longer. You don't want to go so short. You want it to And the tip of my tool, it's sort of like, it's like a knife shape, but it's not really sharp. It's the ends are kind of rounded off. So it's definitely knife shaped, but it's not, doesn't have that really hard edge on the edges. And you want to use, if this was a knife, you're not just slicing it as you're going through the hair. You're not just going straight down the blade. You're kind of turning the knife sort of to the side, and you're kind of dragging as you turn it to the side. So you're kind of almost dragging with the side of the knife. So you can see already how it's starting to, starting to get some of the detail. Then I go back in, mush down some of this, pull it back out, just kind of going back and forth. And then just keep pulling it away from you and looking at it from a distance so you can kind of judge how it's looking. If you stay too close on it, then sometimes it won't be looking right, and you'll need to step back from it to really see if you need to make any alterations or anything. And that's it. That's the 5 minutes. So I'm going to go ahead and probably finish this guy up and bake him, and then figure out what I'm going to do with him. I think it would be kind of cool though if every week I finish it and then put it up for sale. So I might do that, but I will keep you all updated. So anyway, thank you everybody for joining in. This was a lot of fun. I know most of you probably didn't stick it out for the full time, which is understandable. But for anybody who did or who came in just now, thank you. I hope you got a kick out of it. I know I said that. And that's about it. So see you next week. Bye, everybody. It'll probably take me a minute to close out of this.